Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news. For 5 News, I'm Joe Ellison. From world leaders to rock stars to the sporting world, tributes to the late Queen Elizabeth II are pouring in from around the globe. Natalie Brand has more from Washington.
From Australia, where the Queen's image was projected on the famed Sydney Opera House, to New York's Empire State Building, lit up in sparkling purple lights, to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which went dark Thursday night, the world is honoring Britain's longest reigning monarch. In San Francisco and Washington, D.C., church bells rang 96 times to mark her years. Her countless admirers are reflecting on her legacy.
Everybody loves her because of her love and affections for the human being.
Flags at the White House have been lowered to half-staff. President Biden describing Queen Elizabeth II as a stateswoman of unmatched dignity who dedicated her life to service.
The President and First Lady stopped by the British Embassy in Washington Thursday evening to sign a book of condolences.
I had the opportunity to meet her before she passed, and she was an incredibly gracious and decent woman. And the thoughts and prayers of the American people are with the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in their grief.
Tributes also came from celebrities, James Corden noting she's the only queen most have ever known.
We viewed her as a mortal, an essential part of the fabric of our world.
Join me in a round of applause for 70 years of service.
British musician Harry Styles marked the Queen's passing with fans at his Madison Square Garden concert. And soccer stadiums in England will be empty as the Premier League announced it's postponing matches this weekend in honor of the Queen. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, President Biden said he would probably attend the Queen's funeral, although those details are still being worked out. Now, before we get to other news, let's get a check of our weather going into this weekend with meteorologist Stephen Abshire. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Joe, I think we're going to have a nice weekend ahead of us, and that starts out today. Temperatures are going to be fairly nice as we head later on into this evening. 80s for much of today as we get into later tonight. We're going to get into the 70s and into the 60s as we get into early Saturday morning for the River Valley. We might get up to around 90 for parts of this afternoon, but we're mainly going to be in the 80s and again dropping into the 70s, into the 60s as we head into the overnight hours. All right, there's a lot of football that's going to be happening over the next 2 days, but for tonight, for the Franklin County feud, temperatures are going to be fairly nice in the 80s for kickoff, dipping into the 70s for the second half of the game. But it's going to be a great day if you are heading out to any football for tonight. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, what to expect here in Northwest Arkansas for the next 7 days. A stray shower or two as we head later on into this weekend. But temperatures are going to drop significantly as we head into Sunday, with temperatures in the 70s, and on Monday as well, only getting into the 80s. But we're going to climb up as we get later on throughout next week. Taking a look at the River Valley for the next 7 days, 90s for the next 2 days, but again, a big drop on Sunday as we drop into the mid-80s with a chance for some scattered showers. Cooler on Monday as well, but again, we're going to be climbing up as we get later on into the end of next week.
All right. Thanks so much, Stephen. Well, we're following developments in the investigation into the use of excessive force by 3 law enforcement officers in Crawford County. We've learned state police have completed their investigation into the violent arrest that happened in Mulberry. Of course, that was captured on camera outside a Mulberry convenience store, causing outrage across the country. We spoke with attorneys for Randall Worcester at their office. That's the man who was arrested in the video. They think the investigation is wrapping up quickly and that's a good sign for their case. A state police spokesperson confirms that the final report of the officer's arrest was submitted on Friday to Special Prosecutor Emily White. She tells the Associated Press she has not made a decision on charges. Worcester's attorneys tell us their client has not been formally charged, and as they wait for an outcome, they're feeling optimistic.
I think the outcome will be that the officer is using excessive force that wasn't proportionate to the force that was being used by our client, and that they will find that the officers did in fact use excessive force.
According to police, a Mulberry police dash camera did capture parts of the incident. Worcester's legal team is still waiting, though, on footage to be released. And the Arkansas History Commission orders the city of Fort Smith to replace several flags. They were taken down from the Riverfront Park 2 summers ago. Our content partner, Talk Business and Politics, reports the History Commission ruled the city violated a state law when 7 flags were removed from the park. This includes a Confederate flag. The law protects all historic monuments from being removed. We're working to find out if the city plans to appeal this decision. Well, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly, the man arrested for the shooting spree across Memphis Wednesday, was scheduled to appear in court this morning. And now we're learning more about the victims, including one Arkansan. Allison Parker, a mother and nurse from West Memphis, was one of the 4 people killed Wednesday night. Memphis police say Kelly shot Parker several times before carjacking her SUV and continuing the spree of violence. Loved ones described Parker as remarkable, incredible, and a devoted mother. There is now a GoFundMe set up for her 3 children who lost their father 2 years ago. Well, some families in Little Rock are now being asked to monitor their children for monkeypox symptoms. This comes as someone at Little Rock Southwest High School tests positive for the virus. State and local officials have declined to say whether the person was a student or an employee, citing privacy concerns. But we do know some students had what the health department calls a low-risk exposure. They're getting a letter from the health department listing the symptoms of monkeypox and asking them to watch out for 21 days and get tested if any symptoms show up. At this time, vaccination is not recommended for low-risk exposures. Well, thank you for joining us here today. Remember, you can always find the local news, the latest weather where you live by logging on to 5newsonline.com. We hope you have a great weekend.